Bon dia and good morning and welcome to this really cool surf town called Saquerema. You're watching the BF Goodrich Dawn Patrol report for the opening day of competition for the Oi Rio Pro presented by Corona. We find ourselves at stop number 8 of the World Surf League Championship Tour back in Brazil after a few years hiatus. It is so special to be back. Thanks for being with us. I'm Joe Turpel with Chris Cote and Peter Mel. We have so much to catch up on throughout this season. Already finding ourselves at stop number 8. Chris, how good does it feel to be back in Brazil?
Oh, it feels amazing. You can feel the electricity, the excitement. The whole town comes alive, and I think the whole surf world, of course, watching to see how this all unfolds. Very, very excited to be here.
Arriving with gorgeous weather yesterday, Pete, fresh off the plane. The free surfs have been looking really lively and incredible. And your favorite part, looks like we're going to have some waves this week.
So true. I mean, looking at yesterday, it was very small. The free surfs were pretty limited, but today you go over our shoulder here and it's pumping.
So many different things to digest when it comes to the beach break format here at Saquerema. We'll go into that further here on the BF Goodrich Dawn Patrol report, but let's get the official call for the morning as we say bon dia to Luisa.
It's a really good bon dia, guys. Jesse, how good is to be back in Brazil?
It's awesome. I mean, we all love coming to Brazil, and there's always good waves. There's so many passionate fans for us. So this is always a really special event. It's great to be back.
Are we pressing on?
Yes, for sure. So we have actually really good waves this morning. So we're going to be on, and we've got a full day. We have going to be starting right on time with the women's round 1, followed by men's round 1. And then we also have the women's elimination round. So, right now we have, pretty much overhead waves, clean conditions, and it's going to be a good day of surfing.
You guys heard it. We're pressing play. Back to you.
Obrigado. Thank you, Luisa and Jesse Miley-Dyer. So special when you show up on opening day and there's waves and you can get right into action. So kicking things off with Brisa Hennessy, Lakey Peterson, and Gabriel O'Brien in the first heat of the morning. We got a little bit of a glimpse of what the surf looked like behind Jesse there. Chris, you were out there yesterday and the day before. There's been a lot for these surfers to warm up with, but today might be the best day so far in the last couple days.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm expecting. I'm expecting high-performance surfing, big airs. There's this right ramp right behind us, so men and women taking to the sky. Of course, that's what a lot of people think of when they think of Brazil and surfing down here. So I'm expecting that. No pressure to the surfers in the water, but I'm sure they'll give us all that and more.
We're going to go to Professor Pete to really analyze the Surfline forecast. Obviously, we're on today, but also want to get some insight on what we can expect throughout the day and the next couple of days of the forecast.
Yeah, of course, our forecaster here, Surfline, they've produced a good forecast. We've got lots of surf coming, especially you look over our shoulder right now, first day of the waiting period. We've got this mid-period swell, which is going to be pumping. It's going to be a little slow at times, being that this storm was pretty far away from the coastline, but it picked up pretty quickly. We'll have it throughout the day. As you can see, today's action there. 10 a.m., 6 to 8 foot. It has a slight decrease as the energy starts to drop off through the day. Of course, looking into the rest of the week, so we'll see a slight drop going into tomorrow, but look at that for the weekend. Picking back up Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Only downside to that Sunday swell is we got south winds, which is onshore, but it's going to be way more consistent and much bigger. So I think we're going to be running competition for these next few days, and that's exciting.
Really cool to see that, and also catching up with Leone Montero, a longtime championship tour athlete living here in Saquerema. He said, yeah, that south wind day that you pointed out, Pete, then after that the winds do clean up, still with some solid energy here at Saquerema.
Oh, air wind?
That's our favorite part, and obviously what influences a lot of the big maneuvers here at this venue is the crowd factor. Pete, I know for you, you've won in front of a crowd at the Coldwater Classic with people lined up on the cliff, but I don't know if the crowds can even compare to any other venue in the world when it comes to competing in Brazil.
No, and it's not only the fact that the crowd has the numbers involved, it's the passionate crowd that you have. I mean, they are engaged in every single ride. They're going to cheer. They're going to lift their spirits. They're going to let you know if they like scores or not like scores. And so I think that that's something that is so exciting, and it actually plays a factor in performance. I mean, literally, you're going to see surfers who are going to tap into that crowd. We've seen Filipe do it here. And then there's going to be the times where people are going to feel it and feel the pressure.
Cote, you're here for the call in 2019. Did we arrive on a number of fans that were here on the beach that day?
Well, I think you could easily say 50,000 fans, and I love Pete's point there. No accidental tourists here on the beach. Every fan is engaged in what's happening in the lineup, and they're not just cheering for Brazilian surfers. They're cheering for all big maneuvers. They really know what's going on in the water, and that's really fun to see. And of course, that's probably a lot of people's favorite part of this event is the crowd interaction, just the noise you hear when somebody does something big in the water.
Exciting times. Once again, we are on, and much more to come on the BF Goodrich Dawn Patrol Report. We'll dive into the women's side of the draw. Wildcard Sally Fitzgibbons back in the mix, and also she'll have a chance to defend her title here at Saquerema. Welcome once again to the BF Goodrich Dawn Patrol Report here for the opening day of competition of the Oi Rio Pro presented by Corona. Finding herself at stop number 8 of the season, and the crowd is starting to show up here at the beach at Itaúna, where we'll be running heats today. Obviously, multiple venues here. We famously have run at Bahia in the past, that crazy right-hand wedge. Today, the scene is set right here at Itaúna, which is a very rippable wave, and one of Chris's favorite spots to surf when he comes to Saquerema.
Oh, the place is just amazing, and of course, you have this amphitheater style, so a viewer's favorite, no doubt. And you know, behind us, generally, you look out here, it's a long left-hander, but right now it's this rip bull right. So maybe people's strategies are going to change once they show up this morning.
Also, backwash tends to be a factor, Pete, on days like today.
It sure does. And I mean, especially when you have that shorter interval swell and those higher tides, which you're going to see that tide kind of push up through the day, that backwash will play a factor, especially on the rights. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of water moving out along in between the channel of the right and the rocks. That's a great escalator to get you back out. The lefts, generally, you're going to have to deal with a bit of closeouts, and so it's going to be a little tougher to get in and out of there. So it depends on what these surfers are going to figure out, if they want to go right or left. Cleaner faces on the lefts, I will say that. You know, they don't have to deal with the rip. There's some riffle on the rights. So we'll see how it all pans out.
Looking at the WSL Final 5 talk, we've got Lakey Peterson, fresh off a final in El Salvador, hanging on to 5th. How do you think that's really adding up, looking at that bottom half of the WSL Final 5?
I think this is where we're gonna see coaching come into play. Obviously, we know how good she surfs. Now it's all about the mindset, and this is where you start to see the sprint. You know, with just a handful of events left, it's now time to just leave it all out there. Every heat matters in a huge way.
Also looking at number 1 in the world, Carissa Moore. Your expectations on her holding that number 1 spot?
Well, she's in a comfortable spot to make that Rip Curl WSL Finals at the end of the season, but she wants to keep that number 1 seed, and one of the essential parts of that, keeping that, is a win. She hasn't had a win all season yet. 3 finals, but no wins for Carissa. I think for her confidence, she's definitely builds off that confidence. So if she can get herself a win in these next 3 events, I think that's going to really help her to keep that number 1 seed.
Also a little bit worried about Brisa. Remember, had the stitches at El Salvador. We'll see how she hangs on to that equal 3rd position with Steph Gilmore as we look at the heats to watch in this opening round of competition. It's a condensed format now, so we can bring up all the heats in the opening round. Just 4 heats, looking at a lot of opportunity for Sol Aguirre, the wild card, dealing with Tatiana Weston-Webb and Carissa Moore. Joanne DeFay, number 2 in the world, will deal with Courtney Conlog, and one of my favorites here, Caroline Marks, on her comeback to the jersey. And also looking at heat number 4, Steph Gilmore, 33rd CT win in El Salvador, has Isabella Nichols, and maybe the most dangerous wild card, because she doesn't really seem like a wild card. Perfect attendance. Sally Fitzgibbons, also the defending event champion.
Well, I would never double-check your facts because you know them. And when you keep saying wild card and Sally in the same sentence, I'm going, wait a second. No, he's right. And for Sally, you know, who's obviously tasted victory here so many times before, I would say I agree with you. Wildest wild card in this draw, for sure.
The best track record, competing in Brazil at all venues, from Barra da Tijuca to Saquerema. 3 wins in 6 finals. No one's better than Sally out here.
Crazy, crazy stats, and I think that's why she's going to bring some serious confidence coming into this event. She didn't know she was going to be here. She literally was like going home, was at the airport in LA, ready to go home, and I got the call from Renato and said, hey, you're in, going down to Brazil. She's like, whoa, had to change, big quick change. She's here, she's happy, running solo too. She's all on her own.
And it was all last minute. She had to wait before El Salvador as well, thinking, am I going to be in or out? And unfortunately for Tyler, he had some visa issues to get here. All of a sudden, Sally's in, and a quick formula that she'll remember from that 2019 win, which was very special to her. She was holding her heart all the way up to the podium which was incredibly special. We're starting off with the opening round for the women first thing in the morning. Coming up next on the BF Goodrich Dawn Patrol, we'll dive into the dangerous wild cards in the men's draw. We'll be right back. You are watching the BF Goodrich Dawn Patrol on the opening day for the Oi Rio Pro presented by Corona. Waves are looking incredibly fun, and we're about to get started with the opening round of competition to see the world's best compete at Itaúna. On our main site, we can go mobile at this event, but it's looking really fun right out in front for the best surfers in the world. We really want to focus in on this first heat. Brisa taking on Lakey and Gabriel O'Brien. As we prepare, we will throw to Juliana Gorito for the national anthem.
Ouviram do Ipiranga as margens plácidas de povo heróico brado retumbante, e o sol da liberdade em raios fulgidos brilhou no céu da pátria nesse instante. Se o penhor dessa igualdade conseguimos conquistar com braço forte, em teu seio, ó liberdade, desafio nosso peito à própria morte. Ó pátria amada, idolatrada, salve, salve. Brasil, um sonho intenso, um raio vívido de amor e de esperança terra desce. Se em teu formoso céu risonho e límpido a imagem do cruzeiro resplandece, gigante pela própria natureza, és belo, és forte, impávido colosso. Se o teu futuro espelha essa grandeza, terra dourada, entre outras mil, és tu, Brasil, ó pátria amada. Dos filhos deste solo és mãe, gentil pátria amada, Brasil.
Muito obrigado. That was absolutely beautiful. What a great way to be present here in Saquerema. Voice of an angel.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Amazing.
Sweet.
Just to feel the real solid energy that we have here in Brazil to kick off this special event. As we're feeling this way, it also helps us remind us of our good friend, an absolute family member of the WSL. We invite you to join us for a minute of silence for our own Mano Azul. So much. We love you, Mano. Thinking about you all the time and sending our love to your friends and family all around Brazil and the entire world. You made an impact on us all and in pro surfing history, bringing Beach and Bite, the live scoring system and the live broadcast to viewers all around the world, and always sharing us your jokes, your happy smile, special moment to thinking about Mano forever in our hearts.
Yeah, that was one of the people that, with this traveling family that goes all over the world, guaranteed you see him, you see that smile, and you feel like you're at home wherever you are in the world. And without him, I don't think professional surfing would be where it is today.
He was a guy that had such a solid brain, just always thinking, working so hard. But Pete, my favorite part about Mano was I couldn't finish a conversation with him without him cracking a joke. He always wanted to smile and laugh every time that he saw you.
Look, as far as a family goes, he was one of the leading members of it, especially professional surfing and what he brought to it, his passion. We're going to miss him a lot, but I think we're always going to remember him, especially when we come here to Brazil.
Well, you think about what it did for live scoring. Before, heats were surfed and you had no idea what your score was. And now with live computer scoring, the averages came out. It worked out for a 5-judge panel, creating that average in real time, but then also creating a broadcast stream that was going live around the world. I remember back in the day, Chris, just watching a scoreboard of numbers popping up before we even had the vision, and Mano and the team worked so hard to actually bring these live moments. So you didn't have to wait for a video to be produced after the contest. You got to watch it all in real time.
Yeah, we have our stars of the sport, the Kelly Slaters, the Filipe Toledos. Behind the scenes, you've got a guy like Mano who changed everything and, again, brought surfing into, the 21st century, where we are now. Without his passion and dedication to the technological side of it, I think we would have a lot of catching up to do, and he really put us in a great position.
And also his son, we always see, Mini Zul, as he's famously known as, a talented surfer. He's gotten some crazy waves in Saquerema over the years. He's on hand today to celebrate once again with us his amazing father, Pete.
And that's exactly what we should do. He did just recently pass away. When we heard about it in El Salvador, it was a crushing blow. He fought hard for those last few years, and we love you, Mano.
Always playing music as well. Incredibly talented on the drums, ukulele. Always traveled with it. Was ready to sing and share his culture here in Brazil. But so globally loved, which is, I think, our favorite part about him. You think about your life and everything you contribute. Mano contributed heart and what we call aloha in Hawaii to everyone that he met. You felt better, and he had time for everybody, which is something that we're always going to be inspired by.
Yeah, he gave me my nickname, Deshaere, and he also saved me from a Pedersen Rosa headlock. Long story, but I love that dude, and I just keep thinking I'm going to come around the corner and see him.
As we prepare for the start of the heat, the horn will be sounded by Mano's family. Join us for this special moment.
Atenção para o início da bateria. Contagem regressiva em 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The heat is on. Esse toque da buzina.
Mano's beautiful wife and his son there to start the official horn for the Oi Rio Pro, presented by Corona. Obrigado, Sandra, Regina, Simone, Andueza, for kicking us off in such a special way as we remember the great Mano Zul. Brisa Hennessy taking on Lakey Peterson and Gabrielle O'Brien in the first heat of the